Uh,
Megatruck.
Ramrod, Megatruck.
get 'em?
That's a big threat.
Okay, yeah. That looks like my mods got him. Okay, thank you. Carlie, how old are you, please?
I'm 20.
20, fantastic. Which restroom should I use?
I think that you should either use a gender-neutral restroom or a men's restroom.
Okay, let's say a gender-neutral restroom's not available. I should use the men's restroom?
Yeah, if you have to go to either the women's or the men's.
Why should I use the men's restroom?
Well, I personally don't think that males can be women, and I also
You're
think...
wrong. Trans women are women.
Okay, that's not my position, but I also think
I'm aware.
that...
That's the equivalent of having the position that 2 + 2 = 5. It doesn't. You're just wrong. Trans women are women.
Okay, well, we can get to that next, but I think that if you're going to enter women's spaces, passing is important.
That's disgusting.
Why?
Because not everyone looks the same.
Do you know how much it costs to pass?
Well, it would definitely
Do you know how much it
vary
costs
for people.
to pass?
For some people, it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, so the cost... Right, so you don't have to pay anything to go into a women's... hold on. You don't have to pay anything to go into a women's restroom. But Adora does? Fuck that.
Well, yeah, because I'm a female, so female spaces are meant for me.
Carlie, so you realize that there are cisgender women that have a more masculine presentation and that they or either look more androgynous. Do you think that they should be forced to go into the men's bathroom?
No, because they're females, so female spaces are meant for them.
But they don't pass, according to you.
Yep.
Well, they do pass. They don't need to pass as anything because they are females.
No. Some
They're not
cisgender women...
They're not trying to appear as females.
Some cisgender women, Carlie, will look like men to the general public.
Yeah, I get that, but they're not trying to pass.
Passing doesn't exist.
They are females.
Exactly. Passing doesn't exist. There isn't a correct way to look like a woman. There isn't a correct way to look like a man.
Wait, it does exist.
No.
Passing does exist. Passing is how you're perceived by the public.
So, what is the correct way to look like a woman?
Well, it definitely varies, but when you're a biological male trying to access
that's not. I'm not asking if you're a biological male. or anything like that. I want to know what is the correct way to look like a woman.
So yeah, when you're transgender and you're a biological male,
I'm not asking about transgender people.
Wait,
I'm not
just
asking
listen.
about trans people.
Just listen
no,
to what I'm
Carlie,
saying. I think,
No, Carlie. I'm setting a boundary here. No, I'm not asking about transgender women. I'm asking what the correct way to look like a woman is.
It's different for most people.
Exactly, it's different. It varies. There isn't a correct way.
And do you, Carlie, do you realize that the...
Wait, can I ask you something, Adora?
Carlie,
I would like to know what silico biology has to say.
I will just... Do you realize that the standards for quote-unquote passing, especially in Western societies, are very, very rooted on racism?
I don't think that's true. But what I would ask is, do you guys think that
you're not pivoting off of this point? You're not pivoting off this point. I want you to engage.
Off of what point?
The point that in silico biology just made.
Wait, I'm just wondering, do you think people view you as either male or female in society? Most people?
That was not an answer to in silico's question.
Well, she didn't ask me a question. She just made a statement.
Do you realize that these kinds of standards, especially in Western societies, are associated with deep-rooted racism?
I disagree with that statement. I'm asking, do you think that people either view you as male or female?
Why do you disagree with me?
I don't think that there's evidence to support that claim that you made. That's why I disagree.
Which group of cisgender women more often are mistaken for men?
I think that masculine presenting women.
Which group
are more likely
specifically?
to be perceived as men. If you present yourself masculine as a woman, you're more likely to be viewed as a man than anyone else.
Which group?
Masculine
Carlie,
women, that group.
Carlie, you know what I'm asking. Which group? When you see the
No,
news
that is the group
a
I'm saying. You're asking me a question, that's my answer.
When you see in the news that a cisgender woman was misgendered because she did not, quote unquote, pass, which group of women often is the one that, quote unquote, don't pass?
Probably like masculine presenting lesbian women.
Probably more like BIPOC women.
That seems, what evidence do you have to support that? You're gonna have to bring, you can't just make a claim with no evidence.
Because what are the standards for passing?
You're making claims with no evidence. So you just
Because
saying that means
It
nothing.
is true that black women are heavily masculinized. Heavily
Then
masculinized.
provide evidence of this being true.
What are
You can't
the
just make
standards?
claims.
What are the standards in Western society for a woman to, quote unquote, pass?
Well, I don't know why you're asking me this, because in my opinion,
I
the
don't know why all
standards
of
to
a sudden
pass
you're
as a
fucking
woman
denying- Hey,
is to be a female.
Carlie,
I don't think
Carlie,
males
Carlie,
pass as
Carlie,
women.
Hey, Carlie, I don't know why all of a sudden, in order to just delegitimize trans women, you are now at the point of denying racism. Do you know how fucking
You guys are
asinine
grasping at straws.
Define grasping at straws.
Why can't we talk about the topic without you guys
We
pivoting
are talking
away?
about
I've
the
asked
topic.
you a question.
We are talking about the topic. So yeah, so
We're not.
what this person was referring to was black women, right? Black
Okay,
women.
provide evidence.
You're gonna
Some
deny.
Latina
So
women.
you're gonna so just to be clear here, you're gonna deny racism.
No, I'm telling you to provide evidence.
What kind of evidence would you like?
I want evidence that
Why don't
black
you have a
people of
meeting
color
with them and see how far
are
you get?
misgendered
'Cause I
at a
think you
higher
have- I
rate
think
than
that
any
you have
other
all the
race.
information
Because that's
you
the
need.
claim that was made.
Hot dog, you got
Cool, but meet with both-
Sorry.
That's the claim
Sorry
that
about
was
that.
made. So I would just like evidence to support
There's
that.
not going to be a stat of black women who are misgendered. It's whether or not
Exactly.
black. Yeah, but that's not a real stat that anyone's going to be able to do that. You're not even going to be able to find a stat of like trans women that are misgendered. It's not a real.
Okay,
thing.
great. So then let's move back to the topic.
Yeah,
that we were
no,
talking about.
the kind of evidence that you're asking for is not something that people check for, Carly. That's not how fucking evidence works. Okay.
So you're just
Also,
making a baseless claim.
Am I going to be able to? Am I going to be able to finish talking, genius? Damn, that's so crazy. Right. So like I was saying before, so just so you know, you're just going to deny racism here. You're going to deny that during the times of Jim Crow, that black women, right? That black women and white women didn't even want to refer to black women as women the same way that cis women do not even want to refer to trans women as women. They did not want them in the same spaces. They did not even want them in the same bathroom. Hell, they didn't
Okay,
even want
this
them-
is irrelevant
I'm still
to anything
speaking,
I've
though, but
said.
I'm not even done speaking. That's the crazy part.
Well, this is
I don't
great,
know
but
why
you're
this- I
talking
don't
about
know why-
nothing that
I don't
I've
know
actually
why-
addressed.
I don't know why your sentence is in the middle of mine.
Well, because
that's so
you're
funny.
addressing
I'm
nothing
not. I'm
I've
not
said.
done making my point. That's the crazy part.
Okay, continue making your irrelevant point. It,
How do you know if
relates
it's
to
irrelevant
nothing
if I
I've
didn't make
said.
the point yet.
It relates to nothing I've said.
I
But
didn't.
go ahead,
I
keep
didn't
just
even-
rambling on.
Hey, honey, I don't know if you know how like conversations work, but you need to elaborate on particular points before you can give the entire point. Do you
Yeah, so
understand that?
usually in a conversation, you would be addressing the thing that the person
am
you're
addressing
responding
the
to
thing
has
that
said,
is-
which you haven't
but
done.
I
at
am
all.
addressing the
You've
thing
just
that is
brought
being
up.
said.
You've just
Hey,
brought up
Carly,
a bunch of irrelevant.
I
things.
don't know. I don't know how like conversations with you work. I understand that they might be a little bit low IQ, right?
Well, when
but,
have I
like,
brought race into
intelligent
this at all?
But
Wait, let me ask you this. When did I bring race into this at all?
Carly, because it is analogous. Do you know what
Hey,
analogous
chat. When did I bring race into this at all?
You didn't bring race into it, but it is
Exactly.
analogous.
Exactly.
It is
You're
analogous,
you're
Carly.
bringing race into something where
Carly,
race wasn't involved.
It is analogous. Do you understand what that means?
Do you understand that this is
It
irrelevant
is
to the conversation?
but it is analogous, though. Do you understand what that means?
No, it's not, because you're pivoting away from the conversation.
It's not a
No,
analogies are not
no,
pivots,
Carly.
please.
Pivot.
Analogies are not pivots. You just learned that word
Pivot.
yesterday.
Pivot queen.
Define pivot.
Go ahead and pivot queen.
Define pivot.
Go ahead and pivot queen.
All
Keep
this
on
while
going.
using AAVE is crazy.
I'm just wondering, I have a question for all of you. Do you think that society views people as either male or female? Like, that's a thing that people do.
Yeah, and that's not how it should be because people are not.
What should we view them as then? Because subconsciously, we're all going to recognize individuals as males or females.
She actually just pivoted. That's
No, this is the question I've been asking before you were even up here. Before you were even up here, I was trying to ask this question.
Why are you saying that I'm pivoting and you literally just pivoted?
Dude, you weren't even up here. This is the question I've been trying to ask before you were even up here. This is the question I've been trying to ask before you were even up here.
Honey, you do not know what that word means.
Honey, you don't know how to have a conversation on topic. It's okay. We all have our struggles.
On topic. You literally just pivoted.
No, we're not talking about racism. You are. Nobody else is.
Carlie, do you understand?
Do you understand the question I'm asking? Are you capable of responding to it?
Yes, but in order for things to make sense, you need to be able to think abstractly. If you're unable to do that,
well, then just answer my question,
Carlie,
and then we can address your question.
Hey, Carlie, stop speaking over me. People like you typically don't know how to think critically, right?
People like you.
Yes, people like you.
Well, so people like you tend to not be able to answer questions.
I am answering the question. People
Carlie,
like
okay, then answer my question.
You're not letting Baby Bop talk.
Like what?
This is
I have a question. If anyone wants to answer it, let me know.
Yeah, so you actually just pivoted. We were still talking about the masculinization of black women, right?
Like, I know that's irrelevant to what anyone said.
It is analogous. It is analogous. Do you know what an analogy is?
I do know what an analogy is, but it's irrelevant to what I've brought up into the conversation.
Can you go ahead and tell the 1.8 thousand people what an analogy is?
No, can you go ahead and tell me?
No, I just want to make sure that when I say this, you don't say I'm pivoting. So go ahead and tell us what an analogy is.
No, you are, but this is the thing,
Carlie, and you can pivoting right now. Carlie,
no, I've asked a question and you told me You told me that you were attempting to answer my question.
The first one. So Carlie,
you told me.
Carlie,
no, my question was first.
Carlie,
my question was first.
Carlie,
my question was first.
We're answering your question. Carlie,
you haven't answered my question. Let me remind you really quickly, Baby Bob.
Carlie, we are answering the question using analogies. Are you good?
Area of male and female.
Hold on, let me mic up because it seems like she's not getting it.
Yeah,
Carlie, do you understand? No, Carlie.
Carlie. Use people as male and female,
Carlie,
which they do.
Carlie.
Hot dog.
Can you hear me?
Hot dog.
Yeah. Hi. Do you understand how intertwined queer and black culture is, and how similar the discrimination against us? Hold on, Carlie. I'm going to explain to you. I am explaining why this is analogous, right? So, queer and black culture are extremely intertwined, dating back to the 80s. Dating back to the 80s.
This is irrelevant to any claim I've made.
Probably back to the 60s as well.
You don't know if something is fucking irrelevant if you don't let them make the point.
Oh my god. Wow, this is like
I just wanted to let y'all know what the fuck going on. You do not know if a point is irrelevant if you do not let people elaborate on their points.
Wait, but
you cannot determine when it is irrelevant if you do not let them finish speaking.
You haven't even been here for the conversation.
Oh, and I've been having this conversation. First of all, I was here. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Second of all,
no, you weren't. You came up after
how do you know
the
this?
Conversation started.
Were you looking at all like 1.9 thousand people?
Do you feel better after screaming and throwing a tantrum?
I do actually.
That's good. That's
Thank
good.
you. So like I was saying before, can you allow Hot Dog to finish speaking? I know this is like. Well,
I think you were gone, but Hot Dog was finished speaking.
I wasn't. I was micing up. We have ears.
I wasn't finished speaking.
At a time, like you.
Okay. Well, maybe we should both let Hot Dog speak. Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe we should.
What was the rest of what you're saying?
Yeah. So, Carlie, dating back to between the 60s and the 80s, queer and black culture is extremely intertwined, and the discrimination that we face today is extraordinarily similar. What's happening now to trans people highly reflects what was happening to black people in the 50s and 60s.
Okay, great. How does that relate to anything I've said?
We learn history so we don't repeat it.
Okay, that relates to nothing I've said.
It doesn't matter. That's why it's an analogy.
But it's not an analogy because it completely pivots away from the question I was asking.
Analogies are explicitly not.
Do you know
pivots.
what an analogy is?
She doesn't know what a pivot is. She doesn't know what an analogy is. That's why I keep asking her. What is an analogy?
I asked you guys a question, and I get responded to.
Carlie,
with you guys comparing this to
Carlie,
race.
Carlie, we are answering the question using analogies. And in order for us to be able to adequately answer the question, you need to be able to be able to think critically and abstractly. If you cannot do that, we cannot help you. Like, how many continents are there? What else don't you know?
Okay, wait. You just said in order to answer a question, you need to think critically and all this stuff, but you also need to just simply
and
answer the question.
abstractly. Is that a big word for Elmo?
Okay, so great.
Abstractly.
You've just made what you see as analogous, an analogous claim.
I don't see it as analogous. Anything can be analogous. Tell me what an analogy is.
Great, you've made a point.
Carlie,
that I don't
what is an
see as
analogy?
relevant.
What you cannot say it's irrelevant if you don't know what an analogy is. You're just saying that. Okay, then say what it is.
Answer my question. I've let you
say what it is.
Now
say what it is.
My question.
Say what it, we are answering your question.
Answer my question.
We're literally answering your question.
For the host. I have a question.
I want to know if she knows how many continents there are.
Adora, can I ask you a question? Because I feel like it might be more productive to have a conversation with you.
Oh,
go for it. What would you like to ask?
Is she more palatable?
Do you think that individuals in society subconsciously view you as male or female?
Carlie, this is the root of...
Wait, I'm asking Adora a question, and this whole panel is disrespecting them by talking over.
You ignored my answer, and you keep ignoring Baby's question.
I'm asking Adora a question. I would appreciate if you would allow her to respond.
I've asked you one very specific question that I still want to hear.
I'm asking Adora a question that
let's not feign respect here. You're actually not respecting her.
Yeah, Carlie, I want the over talking to stop. So when my guests are asking questions, listen to them. Let them finish what they're saying.
Okay, great. Is there any way that I could get a question answered as well?
I've asked you one very...
In a second. Silico was speaking earlier before you asked me my question.
Okay, perfect. So Silico can ask me a question, and then it's my turn to ask a question.
Pivot Queen!
Okay, tell you what, Carlie, I'm going to mute you, and Silico, please speak.
I went into explaining to you why the current stance of femininity are interrelated, especially in Western society, are interrelated with racism. And I want you to answer me this question. It's very specific. What are the current standards of femininity in Western society? In order for you to grasp why this is related with racism.
I think that just is going to vary on who you ask, because for me, femininity just has to do with things.
I'm asking you the society as a whole. Which women are seen as the most beautiful women?
I think that depends on who you ask. It's not going to be. There's not an answer for society as a whole.
In general, I'm asking.
But I don't think there's an answer for society in general. Who thinks who's most beautiful?
I'm gonna go start my own life. This person disingenuous.
There is
to deny.
Thank you, Baby Bob. Appreciate you.
To just deny racism is crazy.
This is
like straight up,
God
literally.
is real.
Carlie.
My prayers have been answered, and she's.
Thank you, baby.
Amen.
Carlie, there is absolutely a certain beauty standard held by Western
to me, that
society.
sounds racist, to be honest.
No, it's not racist to acknowledge. It's not racist to acknowledge that something exists. I don't believe in it.
Hot Dog, would you mind repeating? Carlie was talking over you.
Oh, yeah. So it's not racist to acknowledge that something exists. It exists. That doesn't mean I ascribe to it. It doesn't mean I don't think it's bullshit.
Yeah, I would say that every race is capable of being seen as like beautiful and attractive in society.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my stance. I wouldn't bring race into this.
Which one is seen as more beautiful? Lisa?
Hot Dog, we can hear the crinkling.
Sorry, is there any way you could speak up a little bit, Silicone? I'm having a little bit of trouble.
I am speaking low on purpose in order to keep this conversation as calm as possible.
I just am
I'm
having trouble hearing you.
I am speaking low on purpose in order for you to calm down and listen to me.
Oh, I'm calm. You're good.
You were not a few minutes ago, and this is the
trust
power
me, I'm
of
good.
this is the power of speaking people in a lower voice in order to force them to listen.
Okay, so what's your question?
Which one of these two women society sees as more beautiful, Lizzo or Giselle Bundchen?
Or who?
Giselle Bundchen, or
I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Let's say another Scarlett Johansson, for example. Lizzo or Scarlett Johansson?
I don't really know who that is, but I could picture who it is, or like, I think I might know who it is. I'm not very familiar with celebrities, but I'd say probably Scarlett Johansson, considering Lizzo's like extremely overweight and unhealthy.
See how your preconceptions are seeping, Carlie?
Well, that has nothing to do with her race. It has to do with her being extremely overweight.
The weight.
Yeah, so you're fat phobic as well.
Do you know how much Lizzo works out? Wait,
Is she
do you know
not?
how much
Is
Lizzo
Lizzo
works
overweight?
out?
Wait, let me ask you a question. Is Lizzo overweight?
Because not all fat people are unhealthy.
I'm asking you a question. Is Lizzo overweight?
Carlie, no. You know what? I'm done.
Okay,
Lizzo
I'm
is
done,
healthy.
Carlie. I'm
Lizzo is
done.
healthy.
I'm done.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
I try to do this as